Alright, hey guys, this is JJ Andy and welcome to CG Market Watch Live. Alright, so today I'm going to bring to you a few key news that I think will kind of indicate that the crypto bull run may be back, alright, or maybe back sooner than we think. Maybe this is just me spreading FUD as well, okay, about the bulls coming, but there are certain telltale signs that I think maybe the crypto bulls are coming quite soon. So I'm just gonna open up the floor to discussion, and we're just gonna talk about this topic today, okay, and what to focus on in the upcoming week and maybe 2 weeks later and the weeks ahead. So this is once again the coin market cap, and we are seeing the 24 hours volume at 14 billion, and market cap is about 211 billion, right? Still hovering there. We do see Bitcoin dominance dropping slightly to 52.8%, and I think over the weekend, even though I was predicting that since last Friday that it will be a very quiet market, but in fact on the Sunday it actually kind of moved, right? And there are some rumors saying that it's because of Tether movement again. When Tether devalue and therefore pushing Bitcoin's price up, and as a result pushing the rest of the odds up as well. So that could be the potential reasons why these odds are pumping. Okay, but we do see overall, on the market cap itself, at least for the top say 20, we're all in the green. And then of course there are some that are performing worse than Bitcoin per se. So tendency is that we do see Dash, okay, we do see Bitcoin Cash moving as well today, and just gonna cover a little bit on Bitcoin Cash later, and yeah, so that'll be the interesting part. So one of the few reasons why I say that potentially we may see the Bitcoin bull coming back is that number one, there's this news about crypto hedge funds. Okay, so crypto hedge funds are still raising hundreds of millions of dollars. All right, so if you do read this article, I'm not gonna go very in depth into the article or reading of the article, because I think you can do that yourself. But what I want to just talk about quickly is that Grayscale investment, raised more than 330 million, right, from both existing and new investors. It's not just Grayscale, of course. We do see major cryptocurrency hedge funds like Pantera Capital and and Point72 portfolio manager Travis Kling Asset Management. They have also raised over 100 million to invest in the asset class. So even though Bitcoin's price is kind of dipping, people are still coming back to invest in it, right? And people or investors feel that now it's kind of like a good time for entry because it's at a low, and because that is at a low, it's actually easier for people or investors to come in, right? So that's a reason why we are still raising millions of dollars. In fact, you can see that Pantera Capital is targeting raise another 75 million. And over 140 investors participated in the $100 million fund of Pantera with a 10-year term vision. So it just kind of let you know that, hey, cryptocurrency is going to be here to stay. The question is whether are you going to be here to stay? Are you going to be there to sit out of these, these bearish terms and just wait for the bulls to come back? But in general sense, the telltale sign is here, right? The market is getting stronger, the growth is getting stronger, people or new investors are coming into the market. So that's kind of like a good sign, right? In fact, market growth is strong. Historically, cryptocurrency market has rebounded strongly from large corrections and consistently achieved new all-time high. So the article also went on to kind of emphasize the point that we have seen a few corrections for Bitcoin's price over the last 10 years. There's 3. This is the third one. So every time it goes through a huge large correction where it erased off almost 80% of its value, you do see the rebounding happening. And this time around, a lot of rumors have been saying that it's going to be led by the institutional funds, fresh funds coming in. So the next bull run could be a substantial one. All right. So of course, this is all speculative. We have to see what's going to happen in the next few months to come or in the next year to come. All right. Okay. So next, second largest US bank wins patent for crypto storage system. Now, one of the reasons why I want to emphasize this particular news, it may not mean a lot, right? But it's Bank of America winning the patent for crypto storage system. So this is the one thing that we have been speaking about, we're talking about, which is the custodial wallet service. And one of the reasons why is that it won a patent. Okay, that's one very cool thing. And it has also been able, so what they have done is that they have created, they want banks to serve as a private key, digital safe deposit box, and then so they have basically patented on an idea with a different detection system and so on and so forth. All right. And they can even let the clients know in real time when their private keys are being tampered, and to have some method to deal with such an event. So this invention can serve all types of clients, but one imagines exchanges and other larger clientele who are most frequently the target of hack attempts, being the biggest beneficiary. So why I'll be emphasizing on this particular news is that it has no whatsoever impact on anyone else not from US per se, right? Maybe in Asia and in Europe you don't really care so much about the news, but what it kind of just tell you is a telltale sign that the banks and institutions are investigating into the blockchain space. They are trying to find ways, custodial services, or in fact just to help mainstream investors to be able to store their crypto digitally in a safe manner. So that's kind of like a telltale sign telling you that, hey, custodial service is here to stay. It's improving, and as we speak, and at the same time, there are, banks are actually investing money or certain amount into just investigating and research and developing this system. So that's quite substantial, right? Thinking about that, there must be a demand for that in that sense. And I guess thinking about that, now, if let's say I have a custodial wallet that's able to keep my funds safely in a digital asset way, right? Wouldn't that actually be a telltale sign telling you that the banks could also be in the future the one who start up certain funds or certain crypto funds and pitch to their investors? Why? Is because now that they have a way to safeguard your money in terms of digital asset, then they will be able to form the fund and assure you that, hey, if you start a fund with my account, say example Bank of America, I will be able to keep your fund safe because I have this patented technology that can help you to save, keep your money in a safe manner so that all your digital assets will be safe. You will be alert if any of your private address will be tampered. You will know straight away in real time, right? So it kind of gives a huge assurance to a lot of people that, hey, wow, maybe I should invest in you in your fund, right? So it does give banks, institutions that step up. Okay, so this is kind of like a telltale sign quickly about what is moving, right? Now, number 3, I just want to talk quickly about Bitcoin Cash. I think a lot of people and a lot of miners have been shifting from mining Bitcoin to actually mining Bitcoin Cash. The article also went on to kind of emphasize the fact that we are going through one of the reasons why BCH or BCC or whatever you call it, Bitcoin Cash pump about 15% to $535 is because it's going through a hard fork very soon on 15th of November. So we see volume quintupled within a 3-day span since 1st November, and you have seen how the volume has grown from less than 200 mil to 980 million. In fact, it almost surpassed Ripple, right? It's nearing Ripple's volume in that sense when it tripled in mid-October. So what we can kind of see is that while the rest of the market is not moving as much, right? We do see Bitcoin Cash moving substantially. So one of the things we kind of need to take note and understand is this. Now, this is very usual, very common to the cryptocurrency market, is that even though there's a movement now, today is only like the 5th of November, and it's a move up towards 15th November for Bitcoin Cash. But subsequently after that, we may just see a huge dump, right? Because the hard fork is the one that people are playing, right? They're just buying it to hold on to get the hard fork chain, and the Bitcoin Cash chain, and then after that, there's a dump that's gonna happen naturally, all right? So guys, just understand that. The other thing that I want to quickly emphasize is this. Now, most of the volume of BCH, which was concentrated in Asia in the past months, is now composed of buy orders on cryptocurrency only exchange like OKX, Binance, and Huobi, suggesting that traders within the inner cryptocurrency market are accumulating BCH slowly due to the fork. Now, the other thing that I think the article didn't really mention is that out of these 3, OKX and Huobi are generally, more or less owned by the Chinese, right? And we do know a huge volume comes from the Chinese side. And what I want to kind of just emphasize is that a lot of people are losing money. The Bitcoin miners are losing money just mining Bitcoin, right? Because in order to mine a Bitcoin, it's about $6,900 for my operating costs, or $6,008. But when Bitcoin's price sustained below $6,500, like currently, it's very hard for them to make any profit. So it's easier for them to actually mine Bitcoin Cash, and they're shifting towards Bitcoin Cash, and therefore they control the mining power of Bitcoin Cash. And at the same time, the exchanges that are being used are OKX and Huobi, for instance. Out of these 3, they are mainly owned by the Chinese, right? So this is one of the reasons why there's a huge volume coming in from their side into Bitcoin Cash, and therefore Binance naturally top 1, therefore you will definitely have volume there. So just understand, if you're holding on to Bitcoin Cash, this is something you need to look out for, all right? The eventual dump after the hard fork. Alright, so now the next few portion once again is the charts, right? So I know I have not been around for the last 2 weeks, haven't been able to cover some charts. So today we're just gonna talk quickly. We're just gonna talk quickly about the charts first, all right? Oh wait, hold on. Mr. K, this is not a clickbait. This is just it's not, okay? It's just me thinking that, hey, maybe we might have some bulls coming back soon. fingers crossed. Okay, so anyway, let's talk about Bitcoin's price for now. Now, I'm gonna cover two, okay, which is Binance side in terms of Tether and Gemini side in terms of US dollars fiat. And one thing that you can kind of realize right now is that you realize that the gap has kind of reduced, right? So I've spoken about the gap, says about 1 or 2 weeks, I think 2 weeks ago, when I've mentioned that the gap, the discrepancy between the Tether price, the Tether Bitcoins in terms of Tether's price and fiat Tether's price, fiat Bitcoin's price, is a huge $300 to $400, right, max. But right now, what you do see is a small $60 discrepancy, which is kind of something that we should expect. So this particular correction, it's healthy. It's a much required one to kind of push the price down slightly so that they will kind of correlate together once again. But still, Tether shows some weakness, and therefore Tether's price still cannot really be reduced in that sense. Okay, so because Bitcoins were pushed up, and people would rather hold Bitcoin than Tether at this point in time, it's safer. And so therefore what you do see is a slight discrepancy between the fiat's price and of course the Tether's price. Okay, but this is good, it's reducing, so it's safe. I think the market is normalizing, so that's the good news. All right, so very quickly, what we do see here is that the cloud is thinning, and we may do potentially see Bitcoin is pushing the price up, but unfortunately I don't really think we have a lot of volume coming in. Volume is pretty normal, I would say very neutral, but for the very important fact is we won't be able to see much movement until the volume really kick in, and the only way for volume to kick in is for fresh fiat and fresh funds to come in. Okay, so this is much like so you need fresh funds to come in order for bulls to be declared to be that they are here. If not, they are not going to be here to stay. So this particular pump, it's very it's not very volume centric, it's not very volume is not exactly backing it so far, so I don't really see a high chance of it pushing beyond the cloud. But what we do see is we can basically just kind of you can kind of just see that this particular few points that that we will potentially see the price heading towards, and it has to break through these few points before we actually will see the bulls coming. Right, so they are generally 6594, 6671, 6759, and ultimately when we kind of break through the cloud at 6894, as I've been telling the group for many days, unless we break through this particular level, will we then see a bull run coming soon? Okay, if not, the cloud is still kind of suppressing the levels and the price, so we won't be able to see much movement as of now. You could also see how the volume is still dipping. Even if you do draw OBV in terms of volume line, you still see it heading downwards. So it's not a very pleasant news unless volume does break out from here. Okay, so don't expect so much movement until ETF announcements from SEC side is over, until bug announcements are coming, and certainly if Tether would stabilize, that would be, it will all be a happy news, right? If not, so many stable coins are coming out, so it's a very confusing time, right? So which one should we trust now? So my personal point of view is just hold on to BTC if you're kind of confused, right? Problem solved. So on the 4 hours wise, okay, let me just add our logo. It's nice to add our name here. So for fiat wise, right, now you can see a slight difference between the chart patterns as well. So of course it's 4 hours, and that's daily, but one thing that's for sure is that you do see it breaking above, I guess this is kind of like a good news, right? It's kind of breaking above the resistance level on this line 6428. It's still sustaining below. It's very hard to break out, but on the 4 hours we are trading above the cloud, so that's kind of like a good news. But when you do go into daily on Gemini, we still see it heading into the cloud, but there's still a huge Senko span B at the above point, suppressing the price. So in order for us to kind of declare once again that BTC is on a bull run, we still have to break out at 6718 in terms of fiat level, in order for us to break through out of this slump or out of this bearish period, right? So this whole cloud is gonna be a huge resistance for the price upward movement. Okay, so don't expect too much, guys. So I personally feel that 6500 or even 6447 area, we could see Bitcoin heading down once again. Alright, so back to Ethereum. Now, I haven't been really talking about Ethereum much, and one of the main reasons is that its movement has been very, very capped, right? There seems to be a lead that stops Ethereum from going up, and you could see this huge cloud here. Okay, and that it's kind of actually preventing ETH or Ethereum from going up so much, but you do see a thinning of Ethereum right here at that particular level. And so we would probably won't see it on the 24th of November, so it's really, really late. Okay, so this is in terms of cloud prediction. Not too sure whether is it gonna come true, but maybe when the cloud's thin, then we could see Ethereum pumping up again. But this is against Tether, so anything can happen. But this is on a daily chart. So to me, I don't really see much movement for Ethereum. All we could really see is it being supported or being resisted at 218 in terms of Tether dollars or value. Don't expect huge movement unless the cloud it's broken. Okay, now in terms of Gemini wise, if you look at daily, this is also daily, we are still below the cloud once again, and it's very, very sad. But you see that a potential pump may come after the 24th of November. I'm not too sure whether it will happen, but potentially. It's still being heavily resisted by the cloud, okay, heavily suppressed by it. So we have to break through above $214 in terms of fiat value for Ethereum for it to see much greater movement, I would say. But as of now, you could see ETH dropping really, really drastically. I think one of another token that, okay, this is just my own take, but I think Stellar actually hold pretty well in terms of Tether value. You can still see it sustaining quite well. Now, of course, this is against Binance, so we may miss out some data here, but Stellar's price is pretty reasonable as compared to ETH. You can see how ETH just dropped so drastically, and it can't seem to find a bottom in that sense, right? In fact, it has went back all the way. This is all the way back to 1st of August in 2017. That's like what, close to 1.5 years ago or more than that. So that's kind of serious when it comes to Ethereum Deep. And you can see the cloud thinning here, so potentially we may see some movement on the 24th of November onwards. All right. Okay, so very quickly, just want to touch quickly about BCC or Bitcoin Cash. We do see Bitcoin Cash being heavily suppressed as well ever since it's on Binance. You can see how its price is being suppressed now, and therefore you have 3 green soldiers pushing the price up. But this is the usual hype that we are very, very familiar with. It's kind of impossible to know. These investors were actually slowly accumulating Bitcoin Cash, and then bam, they sell here, they sell somewhere higher, and that's what the rinse and repeat process for cryptocurrency has been, okay, or in fact for the space itself. But one thing's for sure is that we will definitely be seeing some dip later on, after the fork is over. So guys, do not hold all the way to 15 November and expect that Bitcoin Cash price is gonna carry on pumping. It's not gonna happen, guys. So just take note and understand that. Just take profit when it's needed and when it's required. All right. So I think the one more important news I feel is this particular news, right? So if you really are looking for certain tokens to trade, and you're thinking which one would be the next best option, okay? So when we look at these basic 5 tokens of Cardano, BAT, Stellar, Zcash, and 0x, we kind of know that BAT and 0x has been listed already on Coinbase Pro, right, on its platform. So the next 3 possible could be Cardano, Stellar, or Zcash. Alright, so all you need to kind of realize that is that these three particular tokens are what the investors are kind of speculating. A lot of traders are speculating. A lot of groups are looking at it. And one thing's for sure, if it's listed on Coinbase, it will pump for at least say 10% or so. So you don't have to really look around so much, right? Just one quick tip for you guys: don't have to look around so much. Don't have to look at other signal groups and think what they're doing. Just on the fundamental point of view and understanding how the market sentiment is being played, just aim for one of the 3 or aim for any of this, and it might just work out in your favor. All right, so you may need to hold it for a longer time, you may need to swing trade it, it's up to you. But just a bit of disclaimer, this is not financial advice, this is just a small tip for you guys to kind of see what you can do with some cryptocurrencies. Okay, now of course on top of that, do understand and do pay do your own research and also have some due diligence, because if Bitcoin's price, if any of this market, if the whole entire cryptocurrency market were to recover, Bitcoin's price will have to move up first. Okay, so if Bitcoin's price moves substantially, you would see all odds price being suppressed. There's a Satoshi value. So you really need to weigh the pros and cons on going into altcoins now, or would you be better off holding on to BTC? All right, so we'll definitely be discussing more of these topics, in our legacy and elite group. So thank you for tuning in. I'll see you all on Wednesday. Take care. Safe trading.